Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Ibanithos and welcome to Warframe Intermediates. Now, in Warframe Intermediates, we are doing some things that are not really necessary for you to know. They're just kind of fun. And today we're going to start on to what many people refer to as fashion frame. Now, it sounds like, what the hell, why would I need to know fashion frame? Why is that important? It's not. Again, Warframe Intermediates are about things that are semi-important to the game, but more just fun stuff than anything else. So, as you can see, the inside of my orbiter looks really kind of different. And of course, my Warframe looks very different from the standard. And so we're going to start with looking at how to customize your Lisette, or what other dropship or your orbiter that you have. So basically, you hit escape, and it opens up this tab right here. Or if you're on console, you open up your menu like this. Then you proceed to go to your options. Oops, sorry, wrong play. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, you go to equipment, and then you click on landing craft. Now, with landing craft, you can choose to decorate your main orbiter here. As you can see, you can move around, you can place decorations. And, it's kind of a neat little thing if you have, like I do, like 17 and 15 of the Iatan Orta sculptures, or whatever else you happen to have. If you don't have anything like this, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just go ahead and instead of going to the decorate, make sure you not what I want to do. Make sure you go to your interior colors, and that will allow you to change the interior of your ship. Now, with the detail lighting like I have in here, you can change all the lighting systems by the colors that you have available to you. And yes, I know Classic is absolutely annoying because you can't get all these colors unless you pay for them. Some colors do come with different events for 1 credit apiece. And if you've actually gotten a lot more of the color palettes, that's great because you'll have a lot more options to play around with. Secondary and primary, like this is my primary change. This is the secondary changes. They're very subtle. They're almost unnoticeable. But if you notice, you'll see things flickering in the back there. Now, beyond that, the tertiary is a little bit more noticeable. You can see it right there on the Codex console. I can change it to like this brilliant white or kind of this bronze. If you're paying attention, you can see where it's going. And then, of course, you have your accents, which are a little bit more obvious as well, because they are kind of like the extra pieces, the secondary color to your whole ship. Now, once you've decorated the inside of your place to look pretty, then you can also do the customized landing craft and select landing craft. So if you have fought Zanuka a lot, or if you've managed to find some rare containers, and you've picked up the Scimitar, or you've picked up that's the Lisette. Everyone comes with the Lisette standard. Or if you got yourself the Zephos or the Mantis, then you select them through here. It's pretty simple. That's pretty white. So, yeah, there's that. So I'll just go ahead and select my landing craft. Let's call it good. But then you can customize your landing craft's exterior by selecting Customize Landing Craft. Now, I am not going to customize my landing craft. I like my landing craft. You can also change skins for each one of the different dropships, have their own different interesting design patterns. Now, the Prisma skins are ones that you can purchase in-game from Barrow Katir. He often drops them off. There's a Prisma Mantis, Lisette, Zephos, I believe, even as well as the Scimitar. So everyone has a Prisma skin. Then you can change your primary colors. That I actually like a little bit more coppery, gold and bronze. Your secondary color, which is more of your tint. At least in my case, it's more of a tint. So I'll leave it like that. That looks good. And then your tertiary, which is the same as with your dropship. Really, all the different colors are just going to be very, very similar, and you can play around with them to your heart's content. So how's that? So besides being able to alter the appearance of your ship, many of you have probably figured out by now, at some point, that you can also change and edit the appearance of your Warframe. Now, again, as you've probably watched some of my videos, I might have even touched on the appearance a little bit, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more. So the first, when you go into changing the appearance on a Warframe, you start off with helmets, which can be really impressive pieces, or they can be not so impressive, like that. I don't know why. And then you have skins. Now, skins are complete cosmetic changes. Sometimes skins are not separated from the helmet, so in order to get the helmet, you have to get the skin, or in order to use the helmet, you have to have the skin. So it's kind of up in the air whether or not that becomes the case. Now, I really like the look of the Gara Zaramaru skin. I can't purchase it. I would be in the doghouse if I did. But then you also have animation sets, and this is kind of like why my Gara. You might have seen other people kind of floating or being in certain stances. It's because you unlock them as time goes on. Like, this is actually Gara Agile, which is kind of a neat looking design. Or the Noble, where she's kind of like the half step behind. I can do Excalibur Umbra, which is more of a kind of a Superman pose, or the Howl, you know. And there's so many that you can purchase, actually, in this game. And once you've unlocked them even once, they're available for all of your characters. All of them. Now, if I go to Ember, my Ember, you'll see the Ember animation styles are unlocked for her, but that doesn't mean that they're unlocked for everybody. They're only unlocked for her. You have to purchase them outside of the frame that they're attached to, otherwise you can't use them for everybody. You can also select none, which none just has them stand like this. A little bit less, simple, more just standing. You don't have to have an animation style for it's usually just for when they're standing still and not for when they're traveling or moving. Now, this is where things get a little bit more complicated. So in the in this regular color setup here, you can select your colors for your Warframe's base components. But then attachments are entirely different things. Attachments are armors that you can pick up throughout the game. Sometimes you get them from Barrow Katir. In fact, it's where most of the fancy ones you'll get, or you'll get them from the marketplace. And in a rare case, Tenno Khan will also give you a part. What I mean by rare, I don't mean that it's rare that you get a piece from them. It's just, you have to purchase the Tenno Khan E-Pass in order to get them, which can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. But otherwise, you have all these different other parts and pieces that you can throw onto your frame and have these little kind of special designs going on with them. The Prisma Nibiru's was actually something that Barrow Katir dropped off for a short time a long while ago. I would believe it was actually during a Halloween event. So always keep an eye on Barrow Katir, especially if you have like someone who's like, oh, I keep constant track of them. Just, tell me now and I'll give you informed. Keep informed. It's kind of important to stay informed with what Barrow Katir drops off, because you might get something you really, really want, like, armor pieces. Now, Syandanas are the same as the extra parts. It is a completely separate piece with its own separate color scheme. But you can copy attachment or main colors, which main colors being your Warframe colors, allowing you to completely design and change the look of what you're looking at. So I could actually change this to slightly more gray to kind of fit in a bit better. And that's pretty much it. You can pretty much change anything you want. Now, you might notice that some of my colors are kind of matte, some of them are shiny. That's because some Warframes have metal parts and some only have the skin or flesh parts or leather parts, which is kind of annoying because I really like the metallics, as they call them, on Warframes. They have a really cool, like the glint and the kind of the metal look to them that I really enjoy. But unfortunately, they're fairly few and far between on some frames. Now, last but not least, and we touched upon this in our Warframes Intermediate Syndicates, Regalia. In Regalia, you can choose emblems that will appear on your shoulders. And you can choose a couple different emblems. You got the Alliance and Clan emblems, which you can see over here. You have your event missions, like the Eyes of Blight and the Necrotic Front, Plague Star, Ratham. And then you have, well, Ratham's actually a boss one. And then you have ones you pick up from certain missions, from the trials. I got this one, for example, during the Mayhem of Trial missions, which is basically Warframe's first raid sets. You get that from that. Or the Katir Sakara, which I also got from Barrow Katir. And then these ones, who, once again, I believe both of these are actually for the raids from long ago. Solaris Emblem, Stratos, and so on and so forth. Now, the Stratos Emblem changes based on how much you've done, how much your dedication to tactical alerts are, which I have done very few by comparison. But for the most part, you get these glyphs through the completion of certain events in the game. Sometimes you get them from just fighting enough bosses, although that's a little bit more rare. Now, of course, you get both sides, so I can make both of them be these Sakaras or whatever I want to do. And then you also have your front and back sigils. Now, as I mentioned in, again, the previous Warframe Intermediate Syndicates, that there is, in order to acquire standing for factions, you have to have one of the factions standing, glyphs on. But beyond that, you also have the ability to put on things like the Ratham symbol, the Raptor, the Ford, the Prisma, the Scars of Arbitration, which, wow, those look awful. Awful on that. But basically, these are additional cosmetics you can pick up through, once again, events. You can also pick them up for killing certain bosses or doing certain things. And just in general, they're kind of actually fun to get. I have the Void Gate one. So, remember the most important thing about these, and the Mastery Sigil, which changes as you get more mastery. So just remember, one of the things to remember is that Fashion Frame is definitely something that requires a bit, oh god, it looks so pretty. It does require a bit of artistic expression, we'll put it that way. And it requires that because of how complicated some of these things are for even new players. I'll be the bloody guy. But once you have it down, once you understand how all the colors mix together, if you have a bunch of palettes, or if you have a certain aesthetic you want to achieve, like myself, then it becomes a lot easier to fashion frame yourself. Now, weapons also have this ability to copy Warframe colors and kind of look the same as your aesthetic, unless you want them to look drastically different. And some of them even have skins that go with them, like the Forest Camo or the Huntsman, either one I like. Then you have the Tysus, which I have right now, which doesn't have skin at all, but I can still edit the colors to make it look like how I want. So one of the things to remember is that everything has a lot of customization to it, at least in its color scheme. And it's not super important for you to be pushing yourself super hard to be like, I need to get this cosmetic, it's the best cosmetic. Unless you have the ability to understand how cosmetic work, unless you have certain other cosmetics, sometimes they're not the best. Like the Bloodshed Sigil is really kind of cool, but it's really not for every Warframe. Really isn't. There are certain Warframes that just works good with. Gara, Garuda, these are people who work well with that sigil. But some look better in other things, like, I don't know, having a glowing... I wish they could do glowing halos behind our backs or something like that. That'd be kind of neat. But I think that's going to be a sign down the road. So, that's pretty much Fashion Frame. I mean, in a nutshell. And of course, you can also do your pets. And they also have patterns and skins that you can give them, which some of them are just depressing. Now, this particular one, the Moonless Cavat pattern, I actually got that from Cetus. There's a guy down there who has rotating stuff, and he actually does sell that particular one. So that's pretty much it. Now, before we go to the next part, I will throw out a big spoiler disclaimer right now. You can go to your operator, and you can also change the appearance of your operator, which he himself has facial accessories. And earpieces. And eye accessories. Oh, I have glasses. That's kind of cool. So something to remember. And then of course they have hoods, which you actually can build some of these hood pieces yourself. Just to keep your mind on there, is that you can actually build some of these yourself. You don't actually need to purchase them. And then you also have the suits, which again you can build some of them. That's weird. I shouldn't land that one. Too bulky for magic. The Zumbas might be like the extent of what I'd want to do. Then you have the sleeves. See, it's been getting more and more and more modular as time has progressed, which is fine. I actually like that. Oh, that was it. Then you also got leggings, tassets. I like my copra. They're pretty. Not the copra folds, but the copra tassets. And then you can change your colors, your energy. You also have a sigil that you can throw on there, which are all the sigils you've already unlocked. Oh, that is disturbing. I didn't think that would be a thing. Scars or arbitration? Then, of course, you can change, like with Warframes, you have an animation set for each one of the different schools. I like Xenarix the best. So, as a heads up to that, again, you can pretty much change every damn thing. Everything. So, I hope you all have enjoyed watching this video. Again, if you like this, or if you have comments on it, well, if you like this thing, leave a like on smash that like button. If you want to comment, leave a comment. I'll get to it as soon as I can. And when it comes to subscriptions, if you want to see more Warframe Intermediates, please subscribe. And let me know in the comments if there's something in particular you'd actually like to see me do a full video about. If I have something that's fairly basic with the game that I've forgotten, please let me know. I will create a video and put it in Warframe Basics. If it's something a little bit more important-ish, but more for the more to the late game than anything else, let me know. I'll put it in Warframe Intermediates. And if there's just something you want to see, let me know. I'll do a rant and rave about, perhaps. So, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Goodbye, everybody.